What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tarkov 101. Today is episode 5. We are going to be doing what I think is going to be extremely helpful for you guys on making money, and that is doing a loot run on woods. Basically what this is going to be going over, we're going to be going over all the Jaeger stashes that you're going to want to try to hit on this route. This might be a slightly shorter than normal episode, but we're going to be doing 2 of these. We're trying to do every map for a loot run, and each one's going to have its own episode. I plan on doing woods and customs today, which will be episode 5 and 7. So without further ado, court is now in session. Okay, so first off, you guys, we're going to be going to woods. What we're going to do is we're going to grab our biggest backpack for this one. And we're not even going to bring, we'll bring a rig. We're not going to bring a gun because we're going to be doing this on offline mode. This is solely to show you guys an actual loot run. This is what we're going to bring right here. We don't need anything else. We really don't even need the stuff in the gamma. I'm just going to show you guys the map. We're going to be going over Jaeger stashes, good places to loot, and also other areas where to try to avoid. There's a few spots in woods that are very PvP heavy, so if you're on a loot run, you're not going to want to go into those loot or those high PvP areas. So I'll show you guys that, and we'll go from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to woods. We're going to go 16, and then this is how you turn offline. I think we went over this on the first episode, but since we don't want scavs or anything, we're just going to go here and hit ready, and I'll see you guys when we load in. Okay, so we just spawned in. We are currently, let me get my bearings here. We spawned in by the blue fence here, so that means that up here is a Jaeger stash. Should be a big rock right here. Yep. So this is our first Jaeger stash that we're going to hit. So we got PS ammo, we got some dollars, we got US ammo, we got Apollo cigarettes and a fuse. Really the only thing out of this that you're going to want to take is the money and the fuse. PS ammo is not very good, as we went over in the ammo chart, and US ammo is not very good. Apollo cigarettes, you can craft Winston cigarettes, I believe, with a few of these and a few other things, but we'll go over that later. I wouldn't recommend grabbing these. You don't need them for a task or anything. Okay, so we got our fuse, and we're going to go ahead and head over towards the USEC camp, because on this spawn here, we have outskirts, bridge extraction, and ZB14. So that is on this side of the map. This is the dumbest. In my opinion, this extraction point doesn't make sense for the spawn that we have. It's extremely close to where we spawned in at versus the other extraction side is much further away. I'm not sure why they did it on this one, but that's Nikita. So here, this is the USEC camp, the one portion of it. There's a bunch of stuff that can spawn on the stretcher here, and then a lot of stuff will spawn down here. You can find orthomonoscopes, you can find grizzlies, golden stars, vaselines, all sorts of med supplies. This is a really, really important place to look and thoroughly look at. Sugars go for about 130, 140k on the market, or 120. I've been playing hardcore, so I'm not really sure on the market prices, but I know those go for well. Always grab sugars, never eat the sugars. Over here, an M4 can spawn on this bed right here. And then we have random weapon attachments over here. This is a prism. It's actually worth a little bit. It's actually not a bad sight. And then right here we have a weapons box. Neither one of those things are worth picking up. Right here next to this stump, a backpack can spawn. So if you go in naked, which I do a lot on woods, you can find a backpack there. This is a technical supply crate. You do need 3 gas analyzers for early tasks. So early on, if you find a gas analyzer, make sure you pick it up. You do need 2 T-plugs, and these filters go for a little bit on the market. These pliers aren't really worth anything, but you can grab them for a toolbox trade, I believe. A USEC armor, which is a class 4 armor, can spawn right here. It's very important to check out. An MP5 will spawn here or on top of that, and I don't believe we went inside the tent yet. Don't want to miss out. An MP5 or a different gun can spawn here. MP5 can spawn on top of these boxes, and then random stuff can spawn up here. And then we have this ration supply crate, which is food and cigarettes. Once again, Apollo, not worth anything. These are worth about 16k. Marlboro cigarettes, you need 5 of these for a task. And peas I always grab just to eat. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to hit this crate here. Oh, we already did. Come over here, there is a weapons box. Once again, MP5 spawn. Weapons box. VSS mag, not really worth grabbing unless you really run those a lot. The ones that you want to grab of the VSS are the 30 round size. This is a 12 gauge adapter. This will put on a nice silencer for your 12 gauges. You can pick that up if you like. I don't know if they're worth anything or not, but they are useful if you run shotguns a lot. So now we're going to head over to this side, and the first thing we're going to do is check on top of these boxes. Food and ammo will spawn on these boxes. When you do offline mode, a lot of the times the loot spawns aren't quite as good as what they should be. So when you notice that there's nothing there, a lot of the times there will be stuff there. And just because this is offline. So then over here, there is a USEC armor spawn right here. So there's a few USEC armor spawns. Over here we have gold spawns. So gold chains, chainlets, horses can spawn there. We have a weapons box here that we can loot. And then I believe someone said that there's other spawns on top of these beds. I haven't seen anything before, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. So blood sets, we need a few of those for a task. TP, you need one of those to make your laboratory. That's the only TP you'll ever need. Alkaline, you need a couple for a task and a couple for your hideout. For upgrades, I think for the laboratory, I'm not positive. Inside here can be a Raider M4. It's a slightly kitted out M4. Definitely worth taking a look there. On the back of the truck, we have a weapons crate or box. We don't need that. 5-inch vector barrel. Don't need that. Over here can spawn a blue armor. I believe in this one. Over here you can get random food spawns. Inside here, I believe this is a technical supply crate, so you can get all sorts of stuff. Crickets. 10 of these plus 10 Zibbos can trade for a blue fuel. But we don't need those. These used to be really expensive because of the fuel shortage, but it's gone now, so we don't have to worry about it. Screw nuts, you always need these, and they go for about 13 to 15k, depending on the time. There is a pack of spawn back here, as well as like right in here. There's a weapons crate here. P.A.C.A. is an armor. Very low class, not a very good one. This is an HK extended latch charging handle. It's not worth picking up. I mean, you can at this point. So gold spawns can be back there. So the way to get these is you kind of have to lay down and then like angle yourself to be able to grab it. Horses really aren't worth all that much. I know a lot of people always grab them. I normally don't grab them, but we'll grab them for the sake of having enough loot here. That is a Texas Precision Products muzzle brake for the Mosin. It's halfway decent. This is a flashlight, so if you have a gun, you might be able to put that on your flashlight or on your gun. Flashlights are always really good. I always run a flashlight on my guns when I can. We got another prison site, so we got 2 of them. Okay, so now we're going to leave the USEC, and we're going to head over towards this direction. So we're going to head straight towards this open area in these trees. I have very much found that this is one of the safest routes that you can go on woods. It might seem like, oh, you're out in the open. Well, no one really comes over here unless they're leaving like we are. A lot of times you will run into people over here, but most of the time they have their head down and they're not really paying attention to what's going on. You can easily kill them. I've had multiple times. Actually, just yesterday on the hardcore account, killed a real thick boy. He ran right by me, and I just shot him a couple times. it was almost unfair. There's nothing to loot in through that spot right there. You will see this tree with a rock structure next to it. That means you're getting close to a Jaeger stash. But as you guys can see, these signs here. Don't go out there. Danger, mines. You don't want to go out there. You'll blow up and you'll die. It's not good. So we're going to continue running. I like to run pretty close to the fence, just so I know where it's at. See? And you'll die. I did that for you guys. So now you know what it's like to get hurt by a landmine. It's pretty scary, and it's a lot of fun. Okay. Yeah. So now we're going to be crying the rest of the raid, but the raid's almost over. So right in through here, there's a stash. So the way that I find this one is I look for that tree. It's kind of like a pine tree. You come over here, and then it's kind of hidden. These ones are harder to find, but it's right there. Okay, so this is a belt rig. What we're going to do is we're going to put all of our stuff in here. This is a really, really good rig to have. In fact, the better way to stack this would be to do this. So the reason why, and I'll show you why this is a better way of stacking it. So the reason why, see how this takes up this entire space down here, and this one doesn't? So we might as well put this on as the rig that we're wearing, and so this will actually create quite a bit more space, plus we'll have those extra 4 slots. Okay, so we did have a glitch in the Matrix. Some mines were blowing up over there. I cannot confirm nor deny whether or not that has been a recent update. I was running woods yesterday, and I hit that stash without getting blown up by mines. So I'm pretty sure that's just offline mode messing with you. I do believe that that type of thing can happen. I'm not positive. So I'm going to put a note on the comments for that. But just so you guys are aware, if you can go there or not. But so anyway, I kind of went. Okay. Apparently we're in an online raid here. That's fine. So we're going to come over here and hit these weapons crates. Hexagons are good. Those are worth about 50k on the market, I believe. Another one. Muzzle brake. Muzzle brake. Lunchbox. We need 3 of these for a task for Jaeger. So we're definitely going to want to grab that. And then we're just going to head on the outsides here. We're going to head to ZB14 really quickly. We did spawn into a live raid here. So, as this is like the 3rd raid I've gone into to try to not get killed by those mines. So there is like random spawns here on the ground. And then if we go around the left side of this wall here, you can find this little bunker. This is ZB14. There's some good loot in here. This also requires a key to get on the inside. But you can find meds in here. There's a bag here that we can search. Chin wiper, you need 2 of these for a task later on. Motors, you need a bunch of those. for your hideout. That's a decent thing. ZB14 key will get you in there. Inside of there, there's a large weapons crate. There's also 60 round mags for the AK down on the ground, as well as meds that spawn inside of the little crate thing like that. You can find other spawns here, as we found a motor, and then stuff will be on top of this as well. Sometimes stuff will be in there, but not very often. So we're going to go ahead and come out and then jump over on this rock. And we're going to head towards the mines here. As I said before, this is a live raid. I didn't mean to be in a live raid, as we started off not in a live raid, but that's okay. I'll just drop this gear. We didn't insure it, but... So we're just going to head on the outside of the map here, and I can just kind of show you how, like, effective this is, because a lot of times people won't even see you over here. We might die, but basically we're just heading towards the extraction point, and I can come back and give you a recording of where the extraction is. Okay, so we're just heading around the edge of the map here. And as you guys heard, there is a player up here, and I have a knife. It's a Damascus knife, but still a knife. So we're kind of at a disadvantage. I do believe I saw someone just now, right there. There. Nope, that's a leaf. Leaf that looks like a guy that's sitting down. So we're going to come over here. Our extraction point for the raid that I was showing you on is right here at Outskirts. So you'll just head to the truck. The truck isn't how you extract. Like, you don't actually like leave in the truck, but once you get to the truck, it'll start hitting your extraction point. It doesn't show up right now. And you're just going to want to constantly move around like that, and that will get you out. So we're just going to go ahead and kill ourselves here. Because like I said, this is a live raid. I think I'm just going to grab that. Unfortunately, we're going to lose these two, but that's okay. So we're just going to run out here, and it's going to blow up on us. So we extracted.
Okay, so we spawned in between Scav Bunker and USEC Camp. We headed down into USEC Camp, hitting the Jaeger stash on the way, looting all of USEC, came back down to the south towards ZB14, hit the stash on our way down to ZB14, then we took a slight detour over by the 2 weapons crates, and then we headed straight for ZB14, looting inside of there. If we had the ZB14, we would actually go in through there. If the extract was open, we'd extract there and grab the loot as well, but we did not, so we headed down towards Outskirts, all the way around by the mines, and extracted at Outskirts.
Okay, so we just spawned in. I haven't actually gotten this spawn in a very long time. We are at the rough roadblock for the woods. This is actually an extraction point if the smoke is on over here in this direction. There's currently no smoke. So what we're going to do is first off, once again, this is an offline raid. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit this weapons box. MPX, that's actually worth a little bit. The 50 rounders are worth more, but we go ahead and grab that for now. That's not really worth anything. This is worth stuff. And then we've got a gun as well. And if I am thinking correctly, we can do this. No, it's for the 12 gauge. Okay. So now we have a gun. We can come over here and hit this bag. Bolts, always worth picking up. Screw nuts, always worth picking up. Matches aren't really worth picking up. And a Apollo cigarettes. Matches will go for a painkiller trade. So if you are really low on cash, grabbing those are going to be handy. So we found 2 guns already. And we're going to go ahead and head over towards the FOB. forward operating base. So the forward operating base has quite a few scab spawns, as well as players do want to come here because, in my opinion, this is the best place to loot on woods. This is why I wanted to get this spawn to show you guys this area. I'm going to show you all of the spawns, and then I'm going to go back, or first I'm going to show you what I would do to loot this area, and then we're going to show you all the spawns. So the first thing that I would do if I was going to actually loot this on a loot run where I wasn't heavily kitted and I wasn't looking for a lot of PvP action, is I would go around and pick up all the loose loot. So nothing in here. There could be some ammo spawns here, I believe. And then I also believe there's an armor spawn inside of that box. So there'll be loose loot on the tables here. So like sugar, that's 130k. And then, trust me guys, there's so much more loot if you do this on an online raid. There's always stuff on these tables. And then I'll come over here, grab that. That's 14k. We need those for a task. We need 2 of those or 3 of them for that task. There's spawns here for ammo. And then we'll come over here. There's ammo spawns on top of this as well. And then we'll cut around to this side. Sometimes there'll be loose loot on top of these boxes and on this. Loose loot here. And then there's always a TP there. I don't even know if you can loot that. Yeah, you can't even loot that TP. I've never tried. There'll be loose loot on this table here. And then here's the big spot that you're going to want to check. Is this crate. Ration supply. You can get some really good sugar spawns in here. A lot. And then also, so we need lunch boxes for a task. Marbles we need for a task. And then this shelf here and this shelf here will go spawn golden stars, Vaselines, ibuprofens, stuff like that. And then I'll hit this as well, medical supply crate. You can find orthomonoscopes, morphines. You need 4 of those for a task. And then I'll come in here and check on the shelves. Check here on the shelves. Check on the shelves. Once again, offline raid, so not much. Check here. And then I'll run in the back of this building here, or this little trailer, and there'll be golden stars, Vaselines, grizzlies, really good spawns there as well. I found an orthomonoscope in there as well one time, and then also in through here. And then once you're done with that, you leave. That's what I normally do. We're gonna go over if you're just looting, you feel safe. Scavs will spawn in around this area, and they will come in here and try to kill you, but that's okay. So we're going to go through all of the spawns. So first off, you have this crate here, and we're going to grab everything that is worth money, just to show you how much loot we can get just out of this. So syringes are worth a little bit, so are soaps, and cheese are nice to have. Then we'll loot this crate here. Another ration supply. Lots of crackers. Lucky Strike cigarettes, you need 5 of those for a task. Squash you can use to make Tushunkas, which you need a bunch of. 15, I believe. So nothing in that bag. Then we've got this crate. Oh, we already did that one. And then, so once again, you can loot these tables. Lots of stuff on the tables, right? Then we'll hit the med bag. Bandage. Splint, soap. Soap's worth about 15k on the market last time I checked. Once again, lots of loot over here. Lots of loot back on through here. Ammo spawns over here on these ammo box pile there. Loose loot will be here. Loose loot, loose loot. And then we're going to go ahead and hit all these crates. So I already hit that one. I believe I already hit that one. And then we'll come here to the med bag. Medical bags are always really good to loot because they can have a possibility of really high tier loot, like orthomonoscopes and stuff. Hemostats are really good. They stop heavy bleeds. They have 3 uses. They go for about 15k on the market. And then we have this large crate. I always go on this side and open it. That way no one can see me on the outside there. So this is a technical supplies crate. Car batteries are very important to grab. Early on, you do need quite a few of them. You need 4 found in raid, and I think like 8 not found in raid. So you do want to grab those. I might end up dropping it just because of weight, so that we can run around a little bit faster. But then there's a weapons crate in here. This is a nice little IR laser plus laser combo. It's definitely worth picking up. And then I'm going to check something here, I think. Okay, no. And then we're going to come up on top of this here. We're going to go to our right, and there's a large technical supply crate here. Bolts you always want to grab. WD-40s, you're going to need... you don't need to grab this, but we do need to find... If you're going to upgrade your stash... So, we don't need to on this one, but if you're upgrading your stash at the beginning, you need 4 small WD-40 cans, and you can make 2 with one of these and a metal scissors. So, you might want to grab that or not. It's all up to you. That's worth like 100k, I believe. And then there's another weapons crate here. Don't really want that. It's not really worth anything. That's a night scope. I think that might fit on one of these. No, they don't. Okay. Wanted to show you. So then I normally just jump down here. And then I'll go in and I'll look at this last. I know there's nothing in here, but there's stuff on that table. And then we'll run off the back. Just like that. Just like we said before. So we're going to head directly this direction. Kind of head towards the nuclear silo thing there. So we already looted over there by the extraction point at Rough Roadblock. We're going to want to hit this little building here. There's a bag in here. I go this way because no one really goes this way. You'll never really find anyone. And plus we're already pretty much full with some decent stuff. Crickets are useless. I mean, not completely useless. You can trade 10 and 10 Zibbos for a blue fuel, but you're better off just buying one. Over here, there's cigarette spawns in here. We do need these, right? And then on the back side here, sometimes there's a 3N armor spawn, which you do need for a task. So we're gonna head directly this direction. You'll see the transformer here. There's a stash in this bush next to the transformer. Okay, so we have SMB ammo, which is pretty good. PBM, that's actually really good ammo for that, but we don't need any of this. Everything that we have here is important. So we're going to go ahead and keep going. The route that I go is pretty much against the wall here. And then we're going to hit this. We're going to go behind the truck here. And we are going to go to this little trailer, I guess. And there's a coat in here on the left side. Coats are really handy to hit, you guys. So we're going to want to grab the marbles and the screw nuts. Those went into our secure container, which is fine. And then we're pretty much just going to head directly. I wouldn't recommend running on the wall. I would go over here at the bare minimum. That way you have some obstruction cover just in case someone sees you. You can at least hide in these bushes and wait for them to push, or possibly, you know, come out and be like, "Meow." Do something like that. So we're just heading this way. There's really no loot in this vicinity, but that's okay. So normally when I do this, I actually go inside of here. Just personal preference. That way you have something obstructing other people from being able to shoot you. So now we're going to run up to the old station. This is the old station here. You can use that for a call out. The old factory, old station, whatever you want to call it. You can come in through here for that. Now there will be scavs that will spawn in this area here. So you do want to be careful. You don't want to just rush through this unless you get... There is a spawn that's pretty much right here. If you spawn right here, normally you're okay to continue a boot looting. But sometimes scavs do spawn in right away on woods. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the right side of this rock. See these wood? The little tree roots. Then we're going to come hit directly this way. So this is that Jaeger stash right here. SMB ammo, wrench, sugar, that's worth about 120k. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the laser for that. And then we do need Marlboro cigarettes. So we'll get rid of the syringe. We don't need the syringe just yet. And we should be good to go. Okay, now that we're done hitting that stash, we're going to come up here towards another Jaeger stash. Pretty much head straight up and then hang a left. Once again, there could be scavs in this area. There's also possibilities for player spawns. You do always need to be careful. A lot of the times when I'm doing loot runs, I'll try to do it quickly and I'll just run because I have very minimal gear. I would recommend as a new player to just be cautious. You don't need to do these super fast on woods, as woods isn't like... People aren't rushing to hit these spots like you would in other maps like Interchange or Reserve or Shoreline. So you can just kind of take your time on these. What we're going to do is we're going to hit this weapons crate here. We've got a helmet. This is a really crappy helmet. This is a TacTech Fast MT helmet, non-ballistics replica, meaning that it's a plastic. It's a plastic helmet. It does have a high ricochet chance, so you know you can go off of that. But this is BP ammo. This is one of the best ammos in the game, as we've gone over. We're going to drop the soap for the BP. We always want to pick up BP ammo. It's always worth picking up. This is Signature Blend English Tea. This is a Kappa required item, so you're gonna want to grab that always. You need one of them. So if you have one, then you're good. Glock 17, we have room for it. We're going to put it in there. Money, we don't have any money stacks yet, so we're not going to need that. Duct tape, that's worth like 10k. And then all this other stuff's not really worth anything. So we're going to head over here towards the server room, or so this is like a tower right there. I call it the server room just because it has server racks. So we headed on the left here. There's a weapons box here. Obviously, weapons containers can spawn rigs and other things of that nature, armor, stuff like that. We don't want that Tarzan. It doesn't create any room. And we've got a commando, which is better than the Tarzan. Easy lamp, we can grab that. Two of those trade for a grenade from Prapper. So now we're going to head into this little barn. There's some pretty good loot spots in here. Right here we have a technical supply crate, which will give us measuring tapes, another car battery. I would recommend grabbing this, as car batteries aren't exactly the easiest thing to find, but I'm not going to, just for weight reasons, so that we can run through this quickly. Light bulbs, relays will spawn on here. Same thing with over here, measuring tape, light bulbs, relays, stuff like that. Wrenches. There's a weapons box here. And there is a ration supply crate here. Vodka's worth 15k, and then Aquamaries are worth like 15k as well. If you're thirsty, you can drink these, which our character is at the moment. I just drank the whole thing. You do not want to drink the whole thing of an Aquamarine. For every 1 point that you use, it'll give you 2 points of hydration. So keep that in mind. We've got one here too. We're just gonna go ahead and drink that. Neither one of these are worth anything, I don't believe. I don't think that's worth anything. And then there's also loose attachments here. So now that we're done with this, we're going to come out the back side. We're going to go to this car and hit this bag. Another aquamarine. We're just going to go ahead and drink that too, just for fun. There's also loose loot that will spawn here, food, and other things of that nature. Then we're going to come up here. You'll see the truck here, and you'll hang a left right at the road. And then there will be this manhole ring. And we'll hit the Jaeger stash. There's peas, tube, and 7M1. 7M1 is a really good ammo. We're not going to grab it just because we don't really have space. And I'm just going to try to go through what everything is and where to go. So there is a M4 spawn leaning up against the tank here. It's not there at the moment, but there is a weapons crate. So we'll go ahead and hit that. So we have a Ecotech sight. We don't have room to put it on any air gun, so we're not going to grab it. These are pretty decent sights. I recommend grabbing them. Then we're going to come around to over here. And inside of here is a toolbox and loose food and stuff like that. So we'll hit the toolbox. Xeno, we don't need. T-plug, you need 2 of these for a task. And bolts are always good to pick up because they're worth like 30k or so, depending on the time. Second, we're going to come over here. You're going to see this stack of logs. See this one right here? Jump on top of it. Just head straight. You'll see a little twig right here, a little spruce. And then there's a stash right here. That's the way that I always find it. FMJ, apple juice. We got a broken G phone. It's not really worth anything. And then this actually creates space. So we're going to grab it. And we're going to put stuff in here. See how we put three stacks, but then there's another stack ready to go. So this actually created space. That's why we're stacking with that. Okay, now we're going to head down into the village, which is down here. So you cross this road. And we're going to, depending on what you have, if you have a lot of really, really good things and you are full, kind of like how we are here, I'm going to recommend that you go all the way down to the other side here, and there is a car extraction point. You need 3,001 rubles, so that is something that you're going to want to plan ahead and bring into it. Every woods run, I recommend bringing 3,001 rubles, whether you have it in your secure container or you just have it in your pockets. It's really not that much. If you die with it, everything that you have is normally worth more than that, including like a hemostat, or so it's really not that big of a deal to bring in that cash. So, like for instance, what we have here, I would leave. I wouldn't even loot this area. I would go over here to the car extract, and we'll show you how to do that here in a little bit once we loot this area. So we're gonna come in here. There is a spawn here for bolts and other things like that. First thing we're gonna do is hop into this room here. Spawns are right here. There's also a toolbox here along with tubes here. So then we're going to go into the house here. There's a lot of really good loot in here. This is one of the best houses in this game, or in this map. So sugar here, obviously we're going to grab that. It's worth quite a bit, 130. We're just going to examine the Terracola. But those are worth picking up. There is a trade for a hemo, for like a refrigerator. I don't know how to say the name. So then we're going to open this door. You don't need to kick it in. I just felt like doing it. We got 2 T-plugs, a spark plug, and a bag here. So we'll go ahead and grab this bag. This is a very important place to look, you guys. I have found Tetrises and graphics cards here, both of which are worth quite a bit of money. Tetrises are actually going down because they just changed the trade, but they're still worth grabbing. Up here is a bag that you can grab. Weapons parts aren't really worth anything. Cricket's not worth anything. Aramid isn't worth anything. And tape isn't really worth grabbing, depending on the time. Okay, so then we're going to come in here, and we're going to loot this toolbox. There's a lot of scabs that spawn in this area, so you do need to be careful. Gas analyzers we're going to want to grab. We need 3 of those for our very early on tasks. This sells for 36k, and if you get 6 of these and 2 green gunpowders, you can get an ammo box trade. So whether you want to start collecting those early on, go ahead. I do recommend that. Hoses are always worth grabbing because you're going to need a bunch for your hideout. I'm just kind of leaving my inventory the way it is, just for reference, and so I don't have to continually loot stuff and figure out what I want to keep. Okay, so first we're going to go all the way back in through here. So we cross the road, obviously, and we're coming here. There's a toolbox. There's loose loot on these shelves as well. So light bulb, you need 15 of those to upgrade your illumination right off the bat. So you do want to grab light bulbs pretty early on. They're really cheap though, so you can just buy them on the flea market once you hit level 10. There's ammo spawns, there's food spawns here. If you are stuck back in through here, this is a really, really cheeky spot to shoot people from. Most people don't have, like, that tree obstructs this hole when you're walking in there, so they have no idea you're there. I've killed many people in this spot. Pro tip on that one, for real. Okay, so then we're going to come in here. You've got loose food spawns. We need 3 of those for a task. Very, very early on. Inside here is going to be a duffel bag. We're going to go ahead and loot that. Wrenches, that not really worth picking up. This is worth 15k, but that's 7.5k per slot, so not really worth it. Cricket, not worth it. And screw nuts, always worth grabbing. We'll just do that. And then there is a grenade box here. Grenades, if you like throwing grenades, cool. I always find grenades kind of suck in this game because it takes so long for you to throw. So I normally don't carry them anymore, but when I do have them, I do throw them. So this is another grenade box as well. It's a 40mm VOG. We don't need that. So what we'll do is we'll come around the backside here. We'll head through the garage. Once again, there's a bunch of scavs around here, so you do not just want to like run around freely. This is a hand drill. You need a few of these. I recommend never looting those because they're not worth their weight. They're not worth the space that they take. They do take up like 6 spaces, the same as a car battery. But they're only worth like 30k on the market. So when you need those for your hideout, just buy them on the flea market. Spawns will be here for, I believe, ammo. There's food spawns here. There's a duffel bag here. Motors are always worth picking up. Or not always, but you do need a lot of motors early on. Once again, I would recommend just buying these, as you can pick them up for like 20 to 30k on the flea market once you hit level 10. So then we can go upstairs. I don't believe there's anything up here. There is like a money spawn here, and then also a money spawn here. Not really worth going up. So then down here, I always pass that up, and I go directly to the toolbox. I do this because a lot of the times scavs will be back here and you won't know it, and they'll shoot at you, and then that way you at least have a little bit of cover in here. So then you come over here, jump the fence, and then there's ammo spawns in the trough here, and then a weapons crate. So we have another AK, which we're not going to grab. You jump back over the fence, and now we're done with the village. So what I would normally do is I come around on the back side here. And then we're going to show you the car extract now. I didn't bring 3001 rubles, so it's not going to show you what actually happens because I was not prepared. Did not plan ahead, but the car is right there. The car comes up 100% of the time on woods. If someone uses it, then it's gone. No one else can use it. If someone pays for it and you kill them and you get there before the car leaves, you can use their purchase for the car. I did not know this for a fact, but I did do it the other day, so it is factual. So you'll come up here. You can't move when you purchase, but you'll hit F, and you need to bring 3001 rubles. Do not bring 3,000 rubles. It will glitch out on you. And then normally I just come down here, and it takes 60 seconds for the car to be able to leave. As soon as it's at like 10 seconds or so, you'll pull that up, and it'll be like 10 seconds up, on the bridge extraction point. You'll come up here, and then you'll just kind of stand behind this thing here, and then you'll leave. So, for all intents and purposes, we're going to continue on here. We're going to be heading to a Jaeger stash. If you have that spawn, I recommend leaving at the car no matter what, because you're going to be completely full of loot like we are now. There's no reason to push it. There's no reason to continue on. You're at an extract. You might as well use it. But just so you guys can see these other spots, I'm going to go to them because the video will cover the entire loot route. So depending on where you spawn, you'll be able to know, oh, these are where the spots are I'm going to want to go, and this is the path that I'm going to want to take. So we're going to head up here. There is a stash up here. Stash here. We have fleece, another sugar, soap, purples, wires, and A batteries. None of that stuff's really worth grabbing unless you absolutely need it, and you know you need it. But besides that, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I normally come down here and I'm pressing back. I'm holding the back button. That way I don't fall down too hard. And that'll prevent you from taking fall damage. So we're heading straight over in through here. Hit up this lip. Pretty much just heading straight. You'll see this little, I want to call that like a tree blind, right? There is a toolbox here. You can loot this. I normally don't, but you can. Screwdriver, not really worth it. A battery, not worth it. Drill, not worth it. You can buy these for like 10K off the market. Relays, you need quite a bit of those, but once again, not really worth grabbing. So then you'll hang a right here. There is quite a bit of loot over on the other side by the sunken village, but I don't go over there because scavs are really hard to kill over there, as they can see you and they can damage you very easily. There's a Jaeger stash in here. Paracord, Augmen. Paracords are definitely worth grabbing, but we're not going to. Augmen's worth about 30K, definitely worth grabbing. Okay, so we are back and we are going to be going to another stash up here. So you'll see this camp. I've checked here quite a few times. I haven't found any spawns for the camp. So if you want to keep checking that, you can and let me know. But there is a stash up here. So we'll go ahead and hit this. This is a good leg meta ammo. We got rubles here, Plex, DVD drive. Not really worth grabbing any of that stuff. Typically speaking, you want to have 10 to 15K per slot, unless it's a task item. You'll learn the prices of items as you play. So at first, you're just going to want to grab stuff and figure out what it's worth. Trial and error is kind of how I learned how to do it as well. So you can definitely do that. Okay, so now we are going to head on the back side of, I'm not really sure what to call this, like the, I don't know, supply area, I guess. I don't know what to call this. But we're going to head on the back side of it. There's a lot of scabs that spawn up here. They typically do not spawn until someone enters the area. So it's almost like a switch. So as soon as you go up there, bam, scabs are going to start spawning in. If scabs don't spawn in, take advantage and loot as much as you can and get out, because, I mean, scabs are deadly, especially shotgun scabs. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to this rock here, and the way that I find this stash is I get to the edge of the rock here like this, and then I pretty much head straight up, kind of towards that tree, and it's just to the right here. It's worth like 10K, and screws, we need a bunch of those, but once again, they aren't worth that much, I don't believe. So then we're going to head this way. Once again, dangerous area, lots of scabs, but we do only have about 10 minutes left in this raid, so I am going to kind of speed this process up just a little bit. Inside of here is a grenades box. Nothing in there. We got a weapons crate here. There also are gold spawns and medical spawns down here by the bed. A lot of times you can find morphines and gold chains. There is a pack of spawn right here. There's a weapons box here. There's a pack of spawn inside of there, and a pack of spawn there. Loose loot here. Another Paco or 3M armor spawn here. You got ammo spawns inside of this thing, along with on this shelf and on this pallet. Inside here, we have a ration supply crate. So we got Lucky Strikes. We need 5 of those for a task. Marble, we need 5 for a task, and Lucky Strikes. Then we can come up here, grab this bag. Blue gunpowder, matches, and cigarettes. So now we're going to head towards the scav tower. That was what you would want to call this. There's a lot of scavs in this area, as I mentioned before. You will find 1 to 3 over here in this area alone. Once again, it's like a light switch. As soon as you come in the area, that's when they spawn in. There's loose loot all around in this area, as well as a weapons crate here. A grenade box here, or maybe this is ammo. This is grenade box. And then also we have a weapons crate here as well. There will be ammo spawns inside of these crates here and here, as well as random spawns on these concrete structures all the way around. Inside here is what I call the scav bunker. What I always do is I make sure I'm in a full auto if I can, and I clear the building first, or the bunker first. A lot of times scavs will be hanging out back in here, not making any noise, and they're really scary. There is a jacket here in the back corner. So you hit that. And then there are gold spawns back here in the right corner. I know you guys can't really see that well. Hopefully that helps a little bit. But then there's gold spawns here on this bed as well as a bag here on this couch. We can come over here. There's loose loot spawns down here for barter items. Loose loot inside of the server things there. And then a toolbox. Pressure gauge, it's worth a little bit. Screw nuts always worth grabbing. Bolts always worth grabbing. Duct tape and bolts normally are worth grabbing. There'll be loose food spawns here as well. We can come up here and hit this bag over here on the right side. And once again, I know you can't see that very well, but once you do the area, you'll be able to figure it out. So then we're going to go ahead and head this way. This is on the first spawn that we had where we did the loot over towards USAC. This is where we're heading right now. I'm going to show you where this Jaeger stash is at that we hit first on the first run. And that will complete the loot run. This is where I would loot on this map. There are other spots on this map where you can find good loot, but there are also very heavily PvP'd areas, as well as the scav boss does spawn there as well. But here's that stash that we hit first, and that completes our woods loot run.
For this raid, we spawned in at the rough roadblock and then headed directly to the FOB, which stands for Forward Operating Base. We looted all of the spots inside of the FOB. We headed to the bus stop and grabbed the bag, hit the Jaeger stash by Factory Gate, and then headed towards the UN roadblock extraction. We headed up towards Old Station and hit the Jaeger stash by the mountain pass. Went through Eastern Rocks, hit the Northern UN roadblock stash and weapons crate, went up to the radio station and looted up through that entire area, hit the 2 stashes that are near there, and then we went to the village. We looted up at the village, and since we did not have money for the car extract, we went ahead and continued on hitting stashes as we go. Then we hit a few more stashes by the ponds, head up towards Scav Bridge, hit the scav up there, looted up at Scav Bunker and the little town there. And since we were just giving an example of all the other loot spots on this route, we ended the raid here, but as you guys are aware, you would need to extract at ZB14 or outskirts. All right, that's it for another episode of Tarkov 101, you guys. I am in different clothing, got a little bit different hair. I'm recording this after the fact. The recording we did for the first one wasn't near up to par of what we wanted it to be, but we did do our woods loot runs, and I would recommend watching this a few times because you're going to want to get familiar with the actual route that we take. Woods does get a little bit confusing if you get a little bit lost, so it's best to know your landmarks and know where to go from where you are actually located at that time. I use woods all of the time to make money, to get gear. The loot stash or the Jaeger stash runs that you can do on woods are absolutely fantastic. There is just so much loot to be had. You can find weapons in the Jaeger stashes all the time. It's just an absolutely fantastic place to go. As I said before, it is a bit confusing sometimes, so you do need to take that into consideration. But once you get the hang of it, it really just it's a fantastic place to be. So with that, you guys, court is now adjourned.